from The Mandalorian and Grogu premiere. And first, not official reviews came out. They won't come out till like the 19th. But they're saying, oh, they're mixed. Some didn't like it, blah blah blah. Well, let me explain something. The people who didn't like it, I'll take one in particular that was brought up uh, by Germain Lucier, who was the guy for Deadline that dropped the news that Gina got fired. And then, we kind of put two and two together. He was a good friend of Pablo Hidalgo's. He was one of the people, and I want to explain what he said. Basically, he said, it plays like the TV show. He didn't really care too much for it. He didn't really try to make any, decent statements about it. Other people who said that also added, though, the action is good, it's fun, and of course Scott Mendelson came and said he loved it, his son loved it. There you go. Grace Randolph is probably the weirdest one because she said she liked it. Mando was a badass. Then she said something really stupid about not liking Grogu, and then she said she liked it again. And I'm like, are you off your meds or something, lady? I mean, you either like it or don't. So, the black pills are going, oh my God, it's striking lowest all time, blah, blah, blah. So what? My challenge to Star Wars fans everywhere is, are you going to let Jeremy Griggs and Gary Beekler and the rest of that filth, WDW Pro, Mr. Bryan, tell you not to watch a movie? I am going to say this. Collider was complaining about it, but you got to remember, a lot of these people like the sequel trilogy. All right. They were expecting woke. They got no woke. Okay. So, I was just on X and somebody said something, I think it was on the Fan Pulse account, that we haven't even reached post, we're not in post woke era. It's still woke, blah, blah, blah. Just some stupid, slogan that came from God knows what, Echo Base or some shit like that. Okay. Who's president? All right. All right. And I'm going to tell you what we were told by Sparrow. They said, it's not, you're not going to get woke anymore. Representation will be done organically. He didn't say it that way, but, and it won't be to the point where it's in your face like this. Okay. Now, I'm going to say this. It did not work in Star Wars Tales of the Underworld, because you've got Ventress's boss calling a single, runaway Padawan they, but Asajj corrects it and calls him he. Okay, so there you go. And the boss is kind of stupid, which I kind of was attuned to that when I realized that Asajj doesn't call the kid they. He is a he to her. Okay, there you go. It didn't work with Tales of the Empire with Barriss Offrey. That was just asinine. Well, yeah, and John, you're really right about that. I mean, Cameron and Doug and Polly and Lorena had a video out last night about toxic fandom, and it wasn't really a rant about the big channels, but it was. Here's the deal: we are caught in the middle, right? I can tell an angry black girl on Instagram that after she says, "Yes, but they're finally seeing us," it's like, we always see you. Now you're a narcissist, okay? That's the problem with that part of the fandom is that they're narcissistic. Okay, they're you know they want to see this represented and that represented to the detriment of the story, right? If it doesn't play well in the story, you can't do it. You just can't. I mean, for example, Vice Admiral Gender Studies, um, Rose Tico's Maoist speech. There's a way of doing things without making it obvious. This is not even good propaganda. I mean, even Joe Goebbels, Hitler's propaganda minister would have said, "We're not trying to say what we're really going to do out loud right now. Okay, please rewrite that for subtleness, depth." Okay, I mean, you got to give kudos to people like that because actually they championed some interesting media back in the day, like Triumph of the Will. Hollywood even admits it's a great movie. I think it sucks, but there you go. Then, of course, for the Soviets, it was the battleship Potemkin, and then so a few years back for China, it was that naval battle on a lake that made like $2 billion. But then you realize everybody in China was forced to see it. Okay, so you know, I'm not going to say that that's good propaganda. You know, that's the problem. Um, the Tales of the Jedi. All right, let's get into that one. You got Ahsoka hiding out. She's with these people, and apparently the story came from a what if novel or something like that, where the girl in the novel had a crush on Ahsoka. Right? It's so gross, so fucking gross. And so it's like they didn't. They the wokesters were pissed because they didn't get what they wanted. I saw enough. They did get what they wanted, right? They did. And that show did not do as well because of it. All right. It's like Skeleton Crew. Had they not had mom, was it Fern has two mommies um in the background there, they probably would have done better. But because they did, and look, you can keep it in the background, keep it in the corners, we're still gonna see it. Okay. And that was really unsettling. And it actually pissed everybody off. Okay, that's probably the only thing I think that really drove people away from an actual pretty good show. I mean, I got past it, right? I got past it. And to be honest, you had to watch the episodes those two cows were in to even understand what was going on because um, they looked like friends. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like the end of The Rise of Palpatine where you got the two oinks macking out on each other in the background. I mean, you could just look at JJ and go, "What the fuck? Why did you do that?" But it appears to me that that effort is not only tame, it's probably not going to be used in the way it even was subtly. Okay, if you know what I mean. Um, you know, Sparrow did say, there is going to be representation, but it's not going to be the garbage that you know Kennedy had out there. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said. And I've got a really good friend who has not said anything publicly about this yet, but he was one of the guys that got to see it, and it's somebody I trust to see Mando and Grogu. So this time next week, I'll probably be yipping and yapping all over the place about it. I'll go anywhere and talk, be it good or bad. Okay. Um, Now you've got conservatives like Jack Posobiec who obviously in high school used to push geeks into lockers, trying to shame Star Wars fans not to see this movie. My children aren't ever going to watch Star Wars. Well, your children are going to have a shitty childhood then, aren't they? Okay. And I went off on them. The problem with conservatives, I'm going to bring geeks and gamers into this and everybody else. They're starting to act the same way SJWs did, shaming people. One of the things that Lorena and everybody was talking about last night in her discussion was it has now come to pass that the big channels are shaming people. They have become part of the media, and they're shaming you. But this look, I am one of the people that they tried to shame, right? You know, you can't like this movie. Oh, you're a Disney shill if you liked Kenobi. It's like, no, I'm not. All right, shut the fuck up. All right, but but they started to act. They started to act like the people who attacked them and canceled Gina, canceled how many people got people kicked off of Twitter, etc. Right? And look, you can't have a conversation about a piece of culture like a movie, a piece of music, um, a TV show, and shame people who liked it into not liking it. I mean, look, when I was in high school, the cool kids weren't the jocks, even though they thought they were. The cool kids weren't the preppies, even though they thought they were. The cool kids were the ones that went to the smoking section outside and had Ozzy and Def Leppard and stuff screaming on their boomboxes, right? They were the cool ones because they didn't give a shit, right? They didn't care. And that's the thing. So the people trying to shame us and to shame you for wanting to go see this are the, the the bullies and the creeps and they're they're reliving their high school fantasies of shoving people into lockers if they were ones that got shoved in lockers or reliving what they did, right? Okay. And I you know I don't know what they're gonna do. The Walt Disney Company is gonna do. Kathleen Kennedy and I'm gonna say Bob Iger allowing her really messed it up, and they never addressed the problems. And the problem is woke, right? The problem is woke stuff. The problem is not telling people why Kennedy left, not telling them when she left. I mean, sorry guys, I dropped my pen. I'm fidgeting while I do this. The problems really started in the fandom when WDW Pro showed up. He wormed his way onto Midnight's Edge. He was the driving force, I think, behind driving Cameron off. And me too, because I would call people out in the chat if they started acting like that. Because they weren't being fair. If you just come up and say this sucks, it's dead, and there's nothing else there, you just spew some, I don't know, sounds like a slogan or a bumper sticker or a hashtag. There's nothing behind it. You're not helping the conversation. We used to be able to sit around and talk about the things we like and the things we don't like. Like, I remember, for example, leaving Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and, telling, hey, Mike, um, saying, I didn't like it as much as the first one. It was a different story. It was darker. It was scary for kids to watch. And the story, you know, uh, at the time, Willie wasn't a likable character. All right, she was just this loud uh, blondesian. All right, running around screaming at everything and complaining she broke a nail. And it's like, you know, but in the end, the movie was still good, right? Again, I've said this before. I liked Obi-Wan Kenobi. but for Reva. Moses Ingram can't act, and you know, um, Moses Ingram can't act. Then we get the Trash Light, which I have never seen and won't see. It's the only thing that Disney allowed to have made, and I think they were kind of cornered into pushed into the corner to make it. But if you want, go scroll through my videos and I talk about all of that, the funny money behind it and everything else. It's the only one I won't watch, and I'm not gonna. It is. I saw enough like blurbs from it and pieces of it just to make me want to go, "Bleh," you know. Um, but you know, I liked Skeleton Crew, but my Fern has two mommies. I didn't need it. It doesn't need to be in there. My thing is this: when did it become okay to scream, "I need to be seen," and everybody goes, "Okay, there you go." It's not. That's narcissism. That's kind of mental illness in a nutshell. You know, it's I am the main. Oh yeah, Mike. I am suffering from main character syndrome. Okay, the black girl I got into a fight with on Instagram, main character syndrome. Um, Ryan Johnson, character syndrome. But Nerdrotic, main character syndrome. Jeremy Greggs, character syndrome. I could go through all of them. And you can't have a conversation with somebody who won't allow anything that contradicts what they're saying, even if it's smart. Like Pro, who went after Cameron, and I'm going to say racist charges are warranted here. Um, and then, 2 weeks ago, post a story like he got a scoop that, the sequel trilogy, the rumor is it's going to be um, retconned or erased in the world between worlds. Who here knows? Who here has seen? Been watching my channel. Been saying that for 4 years or longer. We were told that a long time ago. All right, we've known this. And when you start looking at everything that's been made since the rise of Skywalker, it has gotten obvious that something is changing. And a funny thing, my friend, the government spy on Blue Skies, was telling me that one of the whiny lefties on Blue Skies was went to Pablo Hidalgo crying, "Are they really gonna retcon or erase the sequels?" And Pablo said, "Well, they have a couple of names from the sequels, like General Hooks and blah blah blah. So I don't think so. Doesn't look like it." It's like erasing the sequels doesn't mean that characters can't be used from the sequels, right? Okay, it's erasing the stories as they came out. That's what it is. But if you look at the people like that who are all upset that this could happen, they wanted themselves validated through Ray, the angry daddy hate porn addicts through Kyle Ron, the commies through Rose Tico, the lesbos through Vice Admiral Gender Studies. They wanted to take over the story, right? I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's like, it's not yours. It's all of ours. All right? If you actually want a space opera written specifically for someone like you, fucking write it. Okay? And to the people attacking non woke things because Disney made it, go and see it and then decide. Okay? Go and see it. Or does, YouTube not pay you enough? All right, that's the thing. And look, the premiere I think looked like it went off without a hitch. Um, you know, what was really interesting is Timothy Oliphant was there. Katie Sackhoff. Gina, however, was not. But the reason why she's fighting Ronda Rousey tonight in Las Vegas. So she's have you guys seen pictures of her? She's back to I can kick your ass shape. I mean, way better than she was making uh, the Mandalorian. I'm not kidding. I mean, you know, this is a throwback, Gina. So hopefully she wins. Cross fingers. Um, there you go. Uh, it's really so she wasn't there, but like Clancy Brown, he was there. Who else? Oh, there were tons of people that were there, and you know, you know, I mean, it's just what's what's going on, and at that premiere, and I think it's tonight. I think it is. I'm not sure. I think it is. Um, she just posted something on X, by the way. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not. Hi Kim. Um, I'm not sure. Uh, but I think it's tonight, but it might be tomorrow too. So anyway, here we are. You know, we got 6 days. 6 days till I see it because I'm going to see it Thursday. 2 o'clock, sitting in the theater like this. Soda, popcorn, and there we go. And I think we're gonna have a. I think it's we're gonna have a blast. I really, really do. Um, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And look, for the people complaining it was a lot like the TV show, what were they looking for? Right. This is not the Skywalker saga. This is not The Empire Strikes Back. This is not going to be Revenge of the Sith. This is going to be a fun matinee kind of TV kind of movie that I think Star Wars fans need just to get detoxed from the garbage that's been foisted upon us. Um, Now, Kennedy was at the event in London, but they didn't premiere it there. And she was not at this event, so I think she's out of California hiding. Um, and I'm hoping I can get one. I really am. I'm hoping I can get one. So, I mean, there you go. I'm gonna get one of those popcorn walkers and just put it up in my office for display. Anyway, but yeah, I think we're heading into a very interesting time, and it watching the boss. I mean, let's see who is there. Josh Tomorrow was there. Dana Walden, Alan Bergman. They were all there at the premiere. They looked happy. They looked actual. I don't know. I think you can buy it separately because when I bought my ticket, there was nothing like that offered, um, or I would have bought it too. Anyway, but everybody looked confident and happy. I mean, this is a look. This is a transition, and you want the transition to be, you know, fun, right? No word on cameos, but again, I haven't talked to my friend who actually got to see it. All right, I haven't been able to talk to him yet. Uh, so I'm kind of like, um, Paulie went to see it. One of his minions went to see it and was complaining. I'm like, just go and have fun. Look. That's all you can do is go have fun. Okay, go have fun, enjoy it. All right, that's it. Just do that. French roast, by the way. Um, so there's that, and you know, don't expect life changing stuff from what even the people who said it played like a TV show said it was beautiful in IMAX. Now I'm not going to see it in IMAX. We've only got one IMAX theater here in the area, and I'm not driving into that area of Harrisburg for at any time of day, no matter what. I've been there once with my husband, and I was like, "That's enough for me. I'm not coming here by myself unless I can bring the dog and a AR-15." Anyway, yes, Kojak, and so there's that, and we're gonna have a good time next week. Let's go have fun. Let's go watch it. Let's go have fun. Talk about it. I will do a spoiler review, and I will drop it. I'll do probably one from the theater before the movie starts, and yeah, I mean, you know, it. Mike is right. I mean, look, guys, we're sitting here. You know, I think everybody feels kind of beaten up that are fans, like Mike here and Kim and everybody, um, by both sides, right? And you got one side not understanding that you can actually discern and like something that has some couple of shitty elements to it, but it's still good, right? Um, you can like something that has something you're dead morally against. Not enough to make it all right, I'm done. Like the last Jedi, I'm fucking done, right? Not like that, right? Um, but the story has to be good. And one thing that the sequel trilogy and Solo never had were good stories. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was good for the first 20 minutes. And then it aspired to be something other than absolute lousiness. And Harrison Ford deserved much better, much better. Okay, anyway, I gotta go. We've got some errands to run, and it's Friday night, so yes, the blobs suck. Blue pills and black pills suck equally. And Disney could do something about the black pills if they wanted. This is Steph signing out. See you around the galaxy.